good afternoon on what is a grey, overcast but surprisingly mild day. It is Tuesday the 14th of December, back in the reading Nook with some parcels, quite heavy, and of course a nice hot cup of tea. And the next thing I'm going to unbox is, basically I'll show you from this publisher, Games Omnivorous, whom you'll know I've unboxed other titles from previously and reviewed their titles and enjoyed them. They're based in Portugal and are probably best known for publishing Mouse Ritter this year, last year, recently, in a really nice box set. In fact, so nice they're doing another run, as well as a book of adventures, and they recently kick-started that. So if you've not got a copy, there's your chance to get another one. Hopefully there'll be a release of for that. So what we have got in here is this, which is a Highland Paranormal Society anthology by Nate Treme called Haunted Swords. I just checked this. That's not particularly. Basically, it's the Haunted Almanac, a Highland Paranormal Society anthology. It limited to 1,000 copies, and comes with a lot of content. I'm not quite sure. Honestly, my first comment was I'm not entirely sure what that actually says. So I will actually have to go and look that up and just find out, because the font is not easy to read. So let's get into it. We have the introduction. Nice bright colourful piece of basic collage there before we delve into the contents. So, welcome to the Haunted Almanac. This book collects a large portion of my tabletop gaming work from 2018 to 2021. Most of it is released as small pamphlets and zines through the Highland Paranormal Society Patreon. Creating tabletop games adventures is a hobby that has grown to become a large part of my life, and my creative output has been very rewarding to see other people enjoy my work and use it in their games. Tabletop role-playing games, or as I call them, adventure games, are just a more structured version of imaginary games all children play. They're at their best when the rules are simple enough to ignore, when they support play instead of dictating it. I hope something in this book will be useful to you and your friends when you sit down to play together. Do not fear, explore. And that's all great. I mean, that's good advice, you know. I mean, if you want to play a complicated game which dictates a certain style or what you do in the game, that's fine. But there is nothing wrong with simplicity. So we get, the first thing, we have Tunnel Goons, which is a very simple game, and essentially, it's built on 2d6 scale, quick explanation, quick role-playing game, and away you go. And all done in 2 pages. And then we have the Maudie Unicorn, which is essentially a location, a shop, or things where you might basically you can buy things, and then you've got encounters. It's just small things, and again and then tables for make a demon, and then Grot Burke Crypt, a lost crypt near the Mouldy Unicorn. So automatically connection to that, you're building up a little bit of a setting there. Just a few pages. And then we have the Astral Curse of the Iron Gnomes. Okay, basically his take Nate Treme's upon take up on? No. It's a fantastic book. This is the longer piece so far. Just lots of ideas. Then we've even got like a map of a burrow at the end. Just simple ideas developed, ready for play. Level 3, there's quite a lot of it. Then we have the Eternal Caverns of Urk. This book is a collection of random tables for generating strange underground caverns of Urk and their occupants. So we have tables for flora, water, atmosphere, peoples of Urk. Monsters, treasures, same old thing, and then up from the muck. Basically, at Simple Adventure, a hunter-gatherer community of blue crustaceous humanoids near the Shard Mountains. They're taking a deceased villager to sacrifice to the gods in the worm caves and need help fighting off the 2d6 skeeters that have been swarming in the entrance. They offer a marriage alliance in exchange. And then, basically, here we go, basically exploring the region, and your the player characters are helping them out. And then the Forgotten Shrine of the Slime Toad, sticking up from the mud in a remote swamp, is a stone doorway. Another mini dungeon. And again, essentially, with the advantages of things like the Patreon is that the owner can create small content, and with basically be on a regular basis, and be funded by his patrons. So this is followed by, we have the Forgotten Shrine of the Slime Toad, and we've got the Shrine of the Black Hound. Again, lovely little book. With Viridia's Garden. 3 children have gone missing from the village of Bogwart. Villagers have gathered together a bounty of $500 for their return. And short, simple, essentially 2-page adventure, and you've got a simple map, descriptions on this side, drop it into a game, and there we go. So that sort of starts off with the section there where you have tunnel goons and everything for it. Then the next section is Troll. Troll is an analog adventure game where one player, the moderator, conveys an imagined world, and the players explore that world through their player characters. Essentially, all done by flipping of a coin. Complete role-playing game. And what's another thing is basically where you have these days in the past, a lot of cases you would have all this invention upon the part of the players, or the players upon the part of the writer, and you wouldn't see it, or at least the mass audience wouldn't see it, because either it would be just for their home group, or it would be would perhaps go into a fanzine. It might get submitted to a magazine, but more likely to a fanzine, and then unless you were a subscriber to that fanzine, you're not going to see it. So there are adventures and stuff, content from the 80s and the 90s in fanzines, which, and of course the 70s essentially, which you're not going to see because it's all long out of print. The content is difficult. The limited releases, difficult to find, and often quite expensive when you do find it. With this, this can be brought to a wider audience. I mean, say 1,000 copies of this book are available, but it's still a wider audience than perhaps the author is perhaps necessarily reaching with his Patreon, perhaps. I mean, I don't know the figures, but the thing is, I think that at the same time, what this does is, it also brings it to a wider audience in terms of not having to go through the Patreon. You can just buy the book and have everything. And then we have a Halloween hex crawl adventure for pilgrims of the Nighted Path. So everything kind of the player characters need and the GM needs to run a scenario. And Pro looks to be fairly, basically we've got essentially it's a Halloween adventure, and looks to be fairly modern, especially, you know, we've got the bike there, and that was sort of like, it's a nod to kind of the kids on bike genre of essentially Tales from the Loop or Stranger Things, and even to an extent E.T. Then Welcome to Lodex, another location for the Prole game, I believe. Before we get into the Light of a Ghost Star, okay, which is a science fiction role-playing game. So you've not just got sort of content generally for other games, you've got whole games in there, and in the Light of a Ghost Star is a science fiction role-playing game. With a sample adventure on Earth involving, you know, alien tech and strange locations such as the cybernetic monolith and the Black Lake. And Glorg the Great, God's Slug of Destruction, and random encounters. So you have a science fiction hex crawl, and it's supported with an example of play. And one-page games, so complete games, one page. So we have Radical Quest, Automaton, just ideas that he's throwing up, and perhaps he's just showing you Brim and Feather. You are members of the Wandering Order of Fallen Stars. The Order's hierarchy is determined by whiteness of a hat brim or length of feather on the hat. Feather length beats brim every time. It's utterly weird. Mecha dudes. So some of these are kind of ridiculous and inconsequential. Others a bit more play to them. We've got the rules here, I think, for, I don't know whether that's Mecha Dude or that's actually, okay, sorry, that's rules for Snail Knight, because there's a whole gag thing about riding snails, and even whether you go back to sort of like the Marginalia written by monks, or basically, sorry, the Marginalia illuminated by monks in the drawings of book. They've drawn in the in manuscripts, and essentially you've got pictures of sort of like knights on snails. And then we have Neanderthal, game of basically survival in the Ice Age. And NOSR, Nate's Outstanding Simple Rules. So lots and lots in this in here. Then we've got Veggies, an OSR game about making money. Which is a bit weird. I mean, a lot of games, you basically part of the aim is sort of like is to make. Oh, it's yeg, not veg. But a lot of games are about making money. Dungeons and Dragons part is about making money, because then you get experience points, and then you can certainly as a wizard you can do spell research, and for example as a fighter you go and you have enough money to build yourself a castle on the wild frontier. And then we have actually a board game, a sequencer, and micro settings. Oh, these are all not. So we have East of East, a hex draw for Radical Quest and other analog adventure games. So analog, are basically resuming is to now. Tomb of the Desert King. The Lost Isle. So lots and lots in here. There's actually quite a lot to this one. It's actually basically, you've got a San Morico, and its quiet tower, two stones, observation orbs, titan swords, and so on, which is places to visit and explore. And there's, you've actually got a map of the island. Moving on to the Doomlands. You always want to visit somewhere like the Doomlands because they're going to be fun. And there's a really simple map of the Doomlands. Nothing, really, but very functional. Welcome to the Stolen City. The Stolen City sat abandoned for ages until the rat folk discovered it and began building a ramshackle metropolis onto its lowly skeleton. Other species soon joined and life spread throughout the Stolen City. This bustle of life has also attracted predators, like the giant owls that roost upon the highest buildings and the tunnel lizards that burrow below. Little is known about the original city dwellers. Some say they meddled with magic strange and Celtic and were swallowed by it. Some say they were driven out of the city by otherworldly forces and escaped to the stars, where they look down longingly from on their lost home. And essentially, Jobert, the beautiful folk archaeologist, has found an ancient machine, some relic from the forgotten times. She needs to turn out and discover what it is. So essentially, the player characters are helping with an archaeological expedition. Yeah, great. So quite a lot to that. We've got Sweet Bark Island, a forgotten island home to a rare species of tree with a delicious sweet bark, and once was home to moon-worshipping druid cult. Adventures, we've got Bad Frog Bargain. Beneath the Mausoleum. Barrow of the Elf King. There's a lot of sort of like mausoleums and shrines in here, I would say. Cursed Chapel of the Sludge Mother. Right, yes. Fever Black Mountain. So a huge amount of content in here. Lair of the Sad Mage. Temple of the Bat Serpent. I've done a very different style. So there's a very, very discordant kind of feel to it, but that's fine. I think there's lots of different styles and looks to it. It's a compilation. It's not meant to kind of fit all together. And the Thalassic Ziggurat of the Lost Prince. And then, what child is this? A low adventure of divine babysitting for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Here in the back, it says appendix, cool stuff in the back. D6 unwanted magic companions, monster maker, bits and pieces, just finding out. So yeah, if you've not really kind of dug into the Patreon side of things and the OSR, then perhaps here's your opportunity with this supplement, whose name I can't pronounce. Haunted something anyway. Haunted Almanac. Yeah, it is Haunted Almanac. They've just turned it upside down, so I can't read it. Silly me. So really nice little hardback. And it's interesting thing. There are a number of compilation titles sort of been released over the past few years, recently, that brings together a lot of content in one place. And I think that's a really nice move at the end of the day, because it means that we can get to a broader audience. So yeah, this is Nate Treme's Haunted Almanac, a Highland Paranormal Society anthology. Check this out. Go grab a copy from Games Omnivorous if you can. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. So anyway, in the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing. If you have, please do click the like button down below. And of course, if you have any comments or feedback, do take the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a package which I will unbox and show off a book or a game that I will talk about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do hit that subscribe button. Thanks again for watching, and I'll be back again soon with another unboxing of the Nook. Bye for now.